The next trend we're going to look at is social media analytics and data, and how social media data will become more advanced and probably cross-functional, um, in terms of how it's used right throughout the business, and not just in the marketing or the social media departments. Um, Social media managers and executives and marketers have always known the importance of using data to inform decisions. Uh, but that's going to evolve, I suppose, and it's going to be both, involve both inside that social media and marketing department, but also in other areas of the business. You can see in the image here, social media teams are planning to use their data to connect their efforts to larger social media goals. Um, you can see here 60% of marketers plan to connect the value of social activity to business goals. And they're going to do that by quantifying the value of their social engagement in terms of potential revenue impacts. So new data and new metrics. Um, we also see a similar percentage of marketers plan to track conversions and sales resulting from social efforts. So we'll see sort of more sophisticated data. I've seen myself, when helping some of my clients, that other departments within that business, you know, think sometimes the marketing teams perform some sort of wizardry, or, um, especially in terms of social media. I think we'll see this year more and more of those other departments sort of want in on that, and they'll start to want to know, in terms of, who are we reaching, where are we reaching them, what platforms, are most people engaged with geographically, how many people have seen our content, what age profiles are they. Um, so the data will start to trickle down through all the other departments. And you can see a statistic there from Sprout Social, and that 70% of marketers agree that their team's social insights inform other departments, particularly, I would say, the sales department, product service development departments are all, should all be privy to the information, and metrics that are gathered from social media. I think we'll also start to see marketers and social media executives become better and more adept at presenting the data, and start to use more sort of storytelling and visual representations to explain the metrics and what impacts that they're having, um, for the organization, and for the business, and how they can translate into to other departments. Um, so if you do want to become more sophisticated with the use of data, and find new ways to share it, I would, encourage you to bring your team together, discuss what information that you can get from your social channels, what others outside of the marketing department might want or need. And, as I said, particularly the sales departments and product development, product so service development, HR departments, in terms of from an employee's perspective as well, and how they can get involved of that. So, bring everybody together, have a discussion. Of course, utilize AI tools and other social tools such, Hootsuite, Sprout Social, Later. They all can provide, higher level insights, such as, audience sentiment analysis, which will give you an insight into how positive or how negative something is viewed online. So whether that's one of your products, your brand name, your market or your segment in general, start to look at what product insights you might be able to gather, and also look at competitors and what competitive analysis that you can do, and not just locally but internationally as well. Start to test. Whether that's in the form of A/B tests, test audiences, and test content, test images, test AI generated images compared to designer generated images. Um, Test various calls to action, and just get a little bit more sophisticated with your data.